Yeah, so that's usually only a problem in the beginning because 90% of them turn into your biggest fans when you make it.
They say, "Oh, I knew from the start you'd be
Yeah.
successful." Yeah.
I got lucky, man. My family was quite supportive, whether they were being real about it or not, when I was running my first ever seminars. Not before that, though, because they saw me take massive action when I woke up with my seminars. Prior to that, I tried a lot of things, man. And, my brother, my mom, my dad they would give me shit because they care about me. They're like, "Why are you doing the sales thing? Why are you doing that?" And it's like they didn't get it. I went straight from high school into business. And a part of it is just understanding. It's always the beginning because no one sees any results yet. The fastest way to shut anybody up is to show results. That's honestly the only real no BS way. You don't talk them into accepting it. You don't try to change them. You just go and do it, and then they will stop talking. It's pretty simple. It's exactly what happened as I evolved. But it is the beginning, those first couple years probably, that you're going to have the hardest pushback. And from people you love, it's going to be heartbreaking because you expect something from them. You expect their validation. So the fastest way to get over this, first of all, you detach completely from needing validation from anyone. Problem is 99% of entrepreneurs who start entrepreneurship are doing it to make a point, not because they actually love entrepreneurship. That's a little deep.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're doing it to prove something. Because they're doing it to prove something, their entire meaning of success is attached to someone else's opinion of them. Bad place to be in.
Damn.
That's why it's discouraging, because when mom turns around and says, you should go back to school, they go, ugh, no amount of money will make her happy. So I got very lucky as well getting the president of Think and Grow Rich, Satish Verma, to mentor me early on because I was quite insecure when I started my business. I thought I was doing a lot, but he made me realize lots of holes in my thinking, and I detached fully. I became a man very early. Again, I'm very lucky because I got that mentorship. I became a man because I detached from needing things from others. So one big piece is just not needing validation. Complete detached from whose opinion means what to you. Your opinion of you is the most important. I thought what I was doing was great. I could see myself as a good person for doing it. It didn't matter what anyone else believed or disbelieved in me. Even if they believed in me, it didn't matter to me because it's like, again, my opinion matters more to me than yours. The second thing, man, is understanding the person, why they're doing it. Sometimes when we understand, I'll say this, every time you understand something or why someone is a certain way, you stop being reactive. Here is in a nutshell, why people criticize or naysay or whatever. It's simply because they don't believe it. That's all. So when they see someone attempting to break this belief they have that it doesn't work or it's not possible, it frightens them. It intimidates them. And a great speech. I just watched Coach Carter again the other day. Great movie, man. There's a
Samuel
scene.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. There's that scene where one of the boys stand up in the basketball court and he goes, "My greatest fear is not that I am inadequate. It is that I'm powerful beyond measure." And it's a really good speech. And you start crying. And there's a whole speech out of it. But there's one part in that speech where he goes, "It doesn't serve anybody to dim our shine, to dim our light. And that by standing in our light, we are giving permission to others to do the same." And you hear that and you go, man, that's what entrepreneurship is. Of course they're going to be afraid. We're turning on the lights in a dark room where they've been sitting their whole life. So when you shine, you better believe, like moths to a light, you're attracting attention. That's why leadership is so important, because if you don't have it, you won't make it. But it's important to understand that they're afraid and you are starting to diffuse that. So it's a scary feeling. It's uncomfortable because now you're taking them out of what they believe is true. Because if you make it, guess what happens to their belief? It's not true anymore. That's a scary feeling. They'd rather die. And that's why they criticize. They try to hold you back. They don't do it consciously. Most of the time, they're doing it unconsciously as a safety measure. If it's your brother, or your sister, or your mom, or your dad, they're really just trying to keep you here so they don't have to sacrifice who they are by you proving it wrong. And so you got to just get empowered by that. In fact, if you do not have naysayers or criticism, you're not doing enough. If you're doing enough, you're doing it right. People will see it and will want to bring you down. And they won't want to. They're doing it out of fear. And when you understand that, you have compassion for these people. You don't have hatred. The haters, I don't call them haters. They're not haters. What the hell does that even mean? No, man, they're scared. They're my future clients. They're going to be my inspired fans. One day they'll turn around like Armin did, and I'm going to do it. You know how many people from my high school made fun of me because I was trying to do network marketing? I was the outcast, man. Do you know how many of those people reached out to me within the next 4 years when I started doing Reborn and putting out content around helping people? You know how many of them reached out to me depressed, wanting help, advice? Lots. Because they didn't think it's possible, because their parents put in their head it's not possible. So they didn't try to go for their dreams. I was the only one that broke out. And I'm like, screw everyone. I'm going to do it. Because I did it, they go, damn, it's possible. It's inspiring. That's what it is, man. It's just detaching from validation so you're not insecure. And second is understanding that they're just afraid. That's exactly what fear looks like when, especially your loved ones, when you're trying to do something that they don't believe is possible. End of story. And when you know that, you gain compassion. You don't gain hatred. You don't try to prove something to them.
Bring me your skeptics and I'll turn them into believers. It's funny you brought that quote from Coach Carter. I believe that's a Marianne Williamson quote. That's one of the greatest quotes of all time. What's funny is I'm actually reading one of her books right now. I think it's called The Law of Divine Compensation. And it was a gift from our mutual friend Elena. So I have that, in my heart. So it's funny, it's funny how you have these coincidences that come up, right? You say a quote from an author.
I'm going to write that down. The divine law, what is it?
So the book I'm reading is, I think it's The Law of Divine Compensation, something like that. Marianne Williamson. And I think that quote is from one of her earlier books called A Return to Love.
Thank you.
So she's amazing. That whole quote is so powerful,